Do you have questions concerning planning a Disney trip? Ask them live on the show or submit them on our website at patmdisneytravel.wixsite.com/planning. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Matt with the DPI podcast. The actual stream looks terrible today, so if we are skipping or anything like that, let us know. And we will repost the full episode on YouTube if we need to. But if we're not skipping, great. Thanks for joining us tonight. We got a great show. We've got Peter with Princesses and the Mouse at Disney Travel. We're going to talk about some characters coming back to the parks. And we are going to talk about some of the things coming up with our trip to Disneyland. So stick with us. Gotta have a good show. See you in a bit. Hi, I'm Matt. Welcome to Disney Planning Insights. Through creative content and live shows, we explain the hidden details of the Disney experience so that our clients can execute memorable adventures. Together with Princesses and the Mouse Disney Travel, we have helped hundreds of clients plan, book, and prepare for magical Disney vacations. Let our experience help you avoid common planning mistakes and maximize the enjoyment on your next Disney trip. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is March, and this is Disney Planning Insights. We've got a great show tonight. We've got Peter with Princesses and the Mouse at Disney Travel. We're going to talk a little bit about our trip to Disneyland that is coming up, and we're going to have some fun when it comes to things around the parks. So we've got top 3 tonight. Don't know if we're going to do a Lorcana segment or if we're going to do a deep dive tonight. We'll talk about that as we get to it. But it should be a fantastic show. Hey, our new screen works. Cool. I like it. I like it. So without further ado, let me find him again. Let me bring up Mr. Salvadori. Peter, how you doing tonight? It's like that waiter. He always comes when you shove food in your face.
Yeah, man. I'm busy.
I hear you. I hear you. Been a pretty
Just got off
eventful
one
week.
call. Got to make another call when this is done. This is my we're eating on the fly here today.
All right, so let's go ahead. Let's jump into the news and let's talk a little bit about what's going on around the parks and that kind of stuff, because there's really not a ton of news going on. So. All right, we got Unicourse, you have to care because this is the news and this is what we do. This is kind of our foundation segment, Unicourse. So that's why you should care.
Straight to the top 3.
Straight to the top 3. So yeah. So like I said, not a ton of news. Big news on my side is Doug and Russell are back. The Wilderness Explorers Club is back with the meet and greet there in Animal Kingdom. One of my favorite meet and greets at Animal Kingdom. And then Animal Kingdom has a lot of unique ones. But this is a really fun one because it is Doug the dog and Russell from Up. And they're kind of right there at the front of the park. As you come down to Discovery Island, it's just a little bit to the right as you're going towards Flame Tree Barbecue, and it's right there. So, really good spot for them. Really fun to have them back. They're really the last characters to come back. Are there any other ones that really haven't come back yet?
Yeah. At Trattoria El Forno.
Oh, yes.
Give me back my character meal.
Yeah, I want it back, but I don't.
Yeah, it's pretty nice just being able to roll in there and get breakfast for like $12 a person.
I know. It is one of our secret hideaways.
And grab a day of reservation.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a very wonderful place to get a late reservation, last minute, go down, have good food, not pay a ton for it, and then walk to Epcot. So, So yeah, the only other place that I could really think of is like the King Louis and, or no, Baloo is usually with him.
Yeah, on that little
landing.
Yeah. I was like, I don't even pavilion.
Because that used to be like a pickup when they had the little boat ride there. So you'd go kind of from there to the other one, kind of over in the Asia section.
That King Louis would get a huge line though.
It would. It was a fun meet and greet.
Yeah.
They were relatively active characters.
Yeah.
So
unique for sure.
Yeah. Who is your favorite character to meet at the parks? I lost your audio.
How's that?
That sounds a lot better.
Yeah, I could tell like something was going on, so I was like trying to fix it. This is not a top 3 segment, is what I said.
It is not a top 3 segment.
My favorite character to meet in the parks?
Yeah.
I don't know if I have a favorite character to meet in the parks.
I do. Captain Jack Sparrow is a fantastic.
Yeah, Captain Jack Sparrow is a good one. Yeah.
Especially if you talk to him about the captain title or the lack of rum in the Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, that's very depressing. I really enjoyed meeting Figment, but that could have just been the novelty of it all. There's just so many.
There is. There's a lot of good characters.
There's none where I'm like, oh yeah, I got to go wait in line to meet that character. Because I normally don't like waiting in lines to meet characters.
Yeah.
The 7 dwarves during the party. There.
Okay.
That is numero uno.
The creme de la creme of character meet and greets.
For sure.
All right. The Eggstravaganza Scavenger Hunt returns to Epcot 2024 Easter season. Disney released pictures of some of the eggs that you will find around the park. This goes with like the hide and squeak and that kind of stuff that you do with the festivals. So this is kind of Flower and Garden, one of their festivals, because they have the Find Buzz the Bee one as well, don't they?
Pollination.
The pollination?
Yeah, it's the pollination scavenger hunt.
There you go.
Because Spike the Bee is on various flowers, which is fun about the Flower and Garden Festival, because if you go near Easter, you can do 2 scavenger hunts, because you'll have the Flower and Garden Spike the Bee, but then you'll have the Egg Extravaganza with the various characters on Easter eggs, which is always fun.
This is relatively big news. I haven't been at my computer all day, so anything that came out today is relatively new and exciting to me. But Bob Iger was on a question and answer session last night and basically came out and said, hey, Disneyland is going to get an Avatar land as well. So this is
it's supposed to be part of that whole California Forward or whatever.
Yeah, the Disneyland Forward project. Yeah, so that's something that's been out there for a while as far as Avatar was coming to Disneyland, but we haven't had a whole lot of details, and this is the first time that we've really gotten a ton of detail about, hey, this is actually going to be a land, and it's not just going to be a ride and a Night Blossom stand or something silly like that. So that means that they are going to need a significant piece of land to do this, which means that it's probably going to be part of that Disney Forward project in Anaheim that they're working with the city board on right now as far as commitments and resources and all that kind of stuff. So they have a meeting about every month. We recap it the day after they have it, because they have it on a Monday, so we recap it on a Tuesday. Limited time Encanto show coming to Walt Disney World. This is new from today as well. According to an audition posting, Disney World is working on bringing a limited time Encanto themed show to Walt Disney World. Here are the details. Walt Disney Animation Studios and content tells the tale. Who cares? Seeking 2 male or female presenting hosts who sing, demonstrate exceptional storytelling, and most importantly, can captivate an audience with their infectious and high energy personalities. You have an infectious personality, but not necessarily high energy.
If I don't have a high energy personality, I would like to meet that person because
okay.
Actually, I would like to not meet that person.
Bilingual skills are a plus.
C.
Immediately likable and accessible with comedic flair.
Man, you are just describing me.
You'd be a better Sir William in the Frozen Ever After thing.
Yeah. Trust me. I have. By the way, it's Sir Eric.
Sir Eric. Sorry.
Okay. First of all, trust me. I have thought that many times. In fact, the last time I was there, I watched Sir Eric, and I was like, I would do a 10 times better job than this guy. Because he was delivering it with like dry humor, and I'm like, that's not this role. That's not it.
New Star Tours Adventures inspired by Ahsoka, Andor, and The Mandalorian debut April the 5th. You'll be down there.
I will, and I plan on riding Star Tours because I don't ride Star Tours very often, but I will absolutely ride it to see some new scenes.
Damn straight, that looks awesome.
That'll be sweet. I saw that. I was saving that for anything else you're seeing, Peter?
I'm going down one of our sources' Twitter pages right now, So Tryon. So this is something I want to get into a little bit because we're getting to board member voting season. So if you're a stock owner in Disney, you have the ability to vote for the board members, and every year, for the recent past, I mean, this has been a relatively long thing since even before COVID. This Tryon group has been trying to infiltrate the Disney board with Nelson Peltz and a couple of other people. And Tryon releases their plan to restore the magic at Disney. Theme park strategy focuses on return on investment targets. So you're sitting there wanting to say something, so go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Well, where were you going with your pointing and
nothing?
You know.
But I did read about what you're talking about right now.
Yeah, so
I didn't read the details of what they
released a 133-page white paper that outlines plans to restore the magic at Walt Disney Company. Should it win 2 board of director seats, that is seeking at a high level. Tryon's plan for Disney theme parks is to refine park strategy to include return on investment targets and commitment to improving the guest experience. You know, one of the things that they've really...
I might vote for them.
Yeah, one of the things they've really pushed is kind of getting back to that pre-COVID on-site guest experience. So, which is really an interesting position because it kind of strikes a chord with a lot of Disney fans right now. You know, I have a post that's gaining traction again from like the early 2021. And it was that a family of 4 now needed to pay an additional $400, or it was an additional $200 a day to receive less than the same experience that they received in 2019. And that didn't take into account hotel prices or anything else. So, yeah, it was a crazy number. And all of a sudden, like last week, it started gaining traction again. Somebody got onto it, and then, you know, it's like 20 or 30 more likes on it from a post that's 3 years old now. So, one of the biggest complaints that Tryon has is a lack of clarity on where Disney will spend the $60 billion of the CapEx the company has previously announced. So, again, I think we're running into a huge domestic construction D23. So I think you're going to see where a lot of that investment's going in September. But it's that waiting game and kind of getting the little teasers and the morsels out to actually see what's going on. So, let's see. Anything else of significance? Neytiri sculpture returns to the back corner of Wind Trader Shop in Pandora, World of Avatar. Easter eggs released. Doug and Russell. DeSantis appoints.
There are some new topiaries this year that are out for Flower and Garden.
Yeah, talk a little bit about those.
I saw Miguel, Groot, and I saw one other one. I'm not remembering it. Miguel looked really cool though. Is holding the white guitar. Groot is kind of cool because he's obviously got roots growing up out of his arms, and he's holding a boombox over his head
that plays music.
Yeah, that one looks really cool. So that's really, really exciting to see some new topiaries into Flower and Garden. 1900 Park Fair reservations are open.
Yes.
Reopens April 10th, I believe.
Yes.
And reservations are now open for that with that new character lineup that we talked about a couple weeks ago.
The Pocahontas show returns to Spaceship Earth as part of Flower and Garden Festival. So they've created these specialty shows with the light package on Spaceship Earth. Pocahontas is one of them, and it has come back.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Oscar's photo op available at Disney Springs. Now, this is one thing that we didn't think about until this week. So we're going to be out in Disneyland really starting this weekend. I told Allie and Shan, I was like, hey, we might need to stargaze a little bit out there. We might have some people that are in for the Oscars with their families hanging out at Disneyland for a few days. So might get some interesting pictures with some celebrities.
The actual Captain Jack Sparrow.
Yeah. And then Gateway to Discovery Disney Vacation Club Welcome Home Center opens at Disney Springs. Are you going to check that out when you're down there?
If the lounge is open. Because right now it's just little like sales office. But ultimately, I believe upstairs they're supposed to put in a member lounge similar to what's in Epcot and over by the it's in Disneyland. I went up there. It's over where they're doing construction on Space Mountain. There we go.
Oh, okay.
So they have a member lounge there as well. So
is that where they do that the terrace view or the terrace dinner thing?
Yeah. Same stairwell. You just break right if you're DVC to go inside to a lounge, or break left if you're checking in for kind of a dinner dessert party.
Yeah. It's interesting. I was looking at that today where we have a family member that's going to join us while we're out there, and I was looking at that as a possibility. $70 a person, pretty decent menu, and it's a really cool spot. It's like up on this terrace above Space Mountain.
Mm-hmm.
Got a pretty unique view, so.
It was pretty cool being up there. There were also some exclusive Disney card member. There was a Darth Vader meet and greet that you had to be a Disney card member to go do that was up in that same location as well. So watch out for that.
Yep, and that's still there because I looked into all that stuff with the Disney Visa card. So if you are a Disney Visa card member, even over at Epcot, there's a Disney Visa card character meet and greet over there, back to the left of the Imagination Pavilion.
Yeah, Pixar and whatever it is.
Yep.
To the left of it, the Pixar shorts or whatever it's called.
But we are out of time on the news, so what does that mean? It means it's top 3 time. I've got the chips. Peter doesn't have a pen or a pencil or paper or anything. Oh, there's a pen. There's a pen. What we got? We got paper. Uh-oh. He is somewhat ready to go. So, here we go. Business trip.
Did the people move around?
It does tingle a little bit. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is Matt with the DPI podcast. Over on the other screen, it is Peter with Princesses and the Mouse Disney Travel. He is all over the screen, all on your face. He is ready to go.
Oh, if only I had a jalapeno.
Or if you were bilingual, you could be one of the hosts for the Encanto show at Disney World.
I already am. I have an interview tomorrow.
If you've been here before, thank you for coming back. If you haven't been here, this is our favorite part of the show because I am going to pull a chip out of this bag. It is going to line up with a category on a spreadsheet, and we are going to have 30 seconds to figure out our top 3 or bottom 3 for that category. And tonight's number is number 24.
This is going to be known as the one where I ate the pizza.
Number 24. This not planned at all. Top 3 topiaries at Flower Garden. You have 30 seconds.
Amazing.
Thinking about taking a trip to Disneyland, Disney World, maybe a Disney cruise, or one of the other amazing Disney destinations? Contact me at Princess of the Mouse, and I'd love to work with you on your itinerary to the most magical places in the world.
You can contact Princesses and the Mouse Disney Travel on Facebook at PATM Disney Travel.
Fantastic.
This one's hysterical because if you were on for the news segment, we were talking about all the new topiaries that are part of this year's Flower and Garden Festival. But we are going to give you our top 3 from past festivals, I guess, because neither one of us have been to the festival this year. I guess we could use. I guess we could use one of the ones from this year, but
I've seen a picture.
All right, you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
I don't care. You ready to go? Go for it.
All right, I'll start out with one, and this one may not even be back this year. I haven't seen anything about it.
I'll let you know because I have a list in front of me.
Okay, so if you go over towards the Land Pavilion, you're coming out of Port of Entry, going towards the Land Pavilion, there's a set of restrooms off to the right-hand side as you're going back towards those pavilions over there, and there is a relatively large topiary that is the Lion King topiary, with Simba and Rafiki and Nala and Zazu and a lot of the characters. You're shaking your head. No Zazu?
No, it's Sarabi. It's not Nala, it's Sarabi.
Oh, it's Sarabi. Okay.
Yeah, it's his mom.
So, but multiple characters from the Lion King movie, and just, all of these topiaries are so well done. But no, just a really good multi-character one, kind of off the beaten path. So if you're going around like up by the Imagination Pavilion, you're going to miss it. You actually have to cut down by those bathrooms to actually see this one. So I'm going to start out with the Lion King topiary, and I'm just going to say in the world nature section.
Yeah, it is. It's right. Yeah, you spotted it perfectly. It's right before those bathrooms. You nailed it. All
right, where are you going for your number 3?
Okay, that's gonna be my number 1, but you're probably gonna bring it up. This sucks. Okay, I am gonna go over by Test Track. One of my favorite topiaries is over there, and it is the topiary of Huey, Dewey, and Louie. Classic characters, especially for you 80s, 90s kids that grew up with DuckTales and Tailspin and all of that other stuff that Donald's boisterous little nephews got themselves involved in. And so Huey, Dewey, and Louie kind of became some of my favorite characters. And what I love about the new series of Lorcana is the Huey, Dewey, and Louie cards in the Sapphire that all play into each other, which is very fun for me. So I am going to go with the Huey, Dewey, and Louie topiary found kind of over there. Test Track is the nearest thing, but it's kind of out on its own, but pretty close to Test Track. So we'll say over by Test Track.
Okay.
Matt, what is your second favorite one? And I shouldn't have let you go first, but it's fine. I have a standby number one.
So my second one is one that actually isn't back this year, and it's back in the Germany Pavilion. It is going to be Snow White with Dopey and with Doc, I believe.
It's back there.
No, it's not. They replaced it with the
it's a different
gnomes.
one. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs is still back there.
I thought then they moved it. Oh no, it's showing in the Germany Pavilion, but the one in that spot is the gnomes this year. So I wonder if it's in a different position. But so Snow White kind of holding her dressed out. Dopey being Dopey. And one of my favorite things about this one is a memory I have with Braden. We're sitting out there and we're waiting on the girls to get out of the bathroom, and there's these little green lizards like all over Snow White's face. And Braden's like, Snow White has lizards on her. So just a fun little memory of that topiary. But again, these are all really well done, so it's hard to say, hey, this is a much better done one than the other one. No, they're all really well done, and you can really get enjoyment out of all of them. So my number two is going to be Snow White and the couple of dwarves that she was with back by the Germany Pavilion. Peter, where are you going with your number two?
Boy, there's a lot of great ones around the World Showcase, but I am going to go with my number two because that way I will preserve two number ones because I'm afraid that you are going to steal my true number one, and it's fine. I'm going to go to China, to the Panda topiary.
Okay.
I think the Panda topiary is so fun. It's kind of right there in the gardens area to that left-hand side. So you've already got the beautiful kind of lily pad bamboo style little nature area that's always really peaceful. You've got the fountains and everything like that going off. You've got the pagoda in the background, the Chinese pagoda, not the Japanese pagoda.
Sure.
And the pandas are really fun because one of them's kind of like laying on its back playing, and another one's sitting upright, and the third one's kind of like half tuck and rolling. And so it's just very whimsical and very fun. You can just sort of like see these baby pandas just like messing around in the same way that you kind of see them. You see all those fun videos online because pandas are, of course, one of those charismatic megafaunas that get conservation efforts lots and lots of money donated. Nobody cares about the amphibians that are going extinct, but yeah, the big black and white fuzzballs, so really, really great topiary. Really, really fun. Just the way that they captured movement in this still is one of my favorite things about that topiary. So the pandas in China are definitely worth checking out.
There you go. All right, let's go to our number ones. Before I give you my number one, let's talk a little bit about the website. If you have a better idea for a top three, or if you have a better number one, number two, or number three than we did, put it over in the chat, put it in the comments to let us know. And then if you have a idea for a top three, go over to our website. PATM DisneyTravel.wixsite.com/planning, and on the top of that page you will see a little text box where you can give us your idea for our next top 3. Do that today, because well, we're not running out of ideas. We have a ton of ideas, but we'd love to have more listener ideas, and that's awesome. So so my number one, God, I'm like between two. It's like there's the obvious one, and then there's one that's just like, man, this is really cool. I am going to go with a relatively obvious one, and one of probably the most viewed topiaries, and I'm going to go with Beauty and the Beast in the France Pavilion. And the reason I want to go with this one is the way that they set up this topiary. It photographs unbelievably well. It's in that little like alleyway that goes back to the old creperie, and that dining area where you can get the eclairs and the little pastry desserts, the other pastry desserts and that kind of stuff. But it's between like the fountain and like at the very front of the first flower bed on that. So you can photograph it from through the fountain, you can photograph it from behind the fountain, and they are, Belle's in her ball gown, Beast is in his formal attire, they're dancing. It's a very, very well done topiary, and kind of like one of those standard character and country topiaries that does really well. That's probably going to be there every time they do Flower and Garden. So my number one is Beauty and the Beast. Peter, where are you going with your number? Well, before you tell us where you're going with your number one, where can people find you?
As I say every week on this segment of the show, find me on Facebook, and I'd be happy to talk to you and get you going. I've got a whole, it was funny, for the last like 2 months, I've been like, oh yeah, things are kind of slow, and what? Stop giving me thumbs ups.
Oh, I wasn't trying to give you thumbs ups.
Oh, okay. Anyway, so I've been saying, things are slow. Things are really picking up. So, especially with those 2025 bookings available, but obviously, last chance spring break trips are still absolutely a thing. Fall break trips and Christmas, winter holiday type breaks are, great time to get started on planning those things as we get closer and closer to those. So find me over on Facebook, Princess and the Mouse Disney Travel. I'd love to connect with you and start getting this thing planned. My number one, Matt actually didn't take either of my two. So I am curious if my number one is going to hit his other number one. But my number one favorite topiary is in Japan. Yep. And is the big, massive, it is so stunning to look at. It's framed against this nice Japanese archway looking out at the lake, which then looks out at the globe. And so it is one of my favorite pictures that Matt and I set up while we were on our, as Shannon calls it, our business trip. It was one of my favorite pictures that Matt and I set up while we were there. And it is the dragon, because it is built. It doesn't look like a dragon. It looks like a festival dragon. And so those big ornate costumes with those big ornate heads were like 8 guys getting a line, the same ones that the Huns were magically standing inside of, but nobody questioned why the big costumed dragon came all the way up the stairs within 6 feet of the emperor. They just said, oh yeah, why wouldn't the dragon walk all the way up the stairs with us? Yeah. But that's what I'm talking about, and that's what this topiary is. It's a really, really cool topiary, and it is definitely in my list of top 3. Kind of same reason. There's movement. There's very, very great decoration on the front of it, and again, you kind of like, it's amazing what they are able to tell in terms of story with just simply, some fake shrubbery. The Knights Who Say Knee would be very impressed.
that is 2 Knights Who Say Knee references in 3 weeks.
Well, technically they're not the Knights Who Say Knee. Now they're the Knights Who Say Icky.